Hello and welcome back. Today I have something nice, and it's again from HP. And some people are waiting for this one, I know. It is a signal generator, and it is actually a bit cooler than it looks when you have a quick look, because this is the 50 megahertz version. It is the 8116A, and yeah, it is fully functional. The only thing I need to do is clean it a bit, but of course we're gonna open it. And yeah, it has been, I think, in a smoking environment. It is all sticky, so we try to clean that. As usual, the feet are missing. That happens a lot with this HP equipment, I think, because people are just stacking it like bricks like this, and then somehow yeah, they don't keep the feet, and then you just get lost. But I'm happy I found one. And let's zoom in. Well, the first thing you notice that it is very, very long. And I know that some of the voltage meters are also very, very long or deep, whatever you want to call it. And but this one is really the longest I've seen so far. And let me do a quick measure. So it's 17.5 inch or 45 centimeters. That is huge, and I already saw when I put them on the stack on the right. In this stack here, it was I need to put it in the bottom right there, and then still it almost sticks out. Well, here if we compare it to the frequency counter, the 5351B, if you compare it, that already was big, but as you see, it is a lot shorter. And if we compare it to the more modern analog power supply, also HP, it is even smaller. So this one is really, really huge. As you can see, it can really use some cleaning, and even all the bubbles are sticking to it. That sticky it is. So that's gonna be some EPA or some of my universal cleaner. I think I start with it first because it just doesn't feel really nice. The bottom is even worse. It is really sticky. If we look at that back, my god, it's heavy. Huge power supply. It does have the HPIB. Go to the front. My god, it's heavy and it's long. I need to have more distance. Right? And if you look at the front, yeah, I think it has a few more buttons than the 20 megahertz versions have. And it has a few more options. I don't think there was any generator in this series that went a lot higher. And yeah, I really like to clean it. Look at this. I hope this is dirt and not a scratch. Here is something, it seems there is a bubble inside of the paint, or there is a little plastic in front still, but I don't think so. So that is pity. Let's see what that is. Let me show you how it works, because it actually works a lot more simple than you might think it does. Okay, let's switch it on. You will probably hear some noise because there is a fan in the back, and it is really noisy. But look at this. Isn't it cool? By default, the output is not on, and you can do the frequency, the duty, the amplitude, and OFS. I think that is how many per. Oh, no, that's the duty. Offset. Okay, probably offset. So where is your zero level? Amplitude, duty 50% for the frequency. Here, sine wave, kind of triangle, square, and pulses. And then you can set the pulse width with this one. So it dynamically changes. That is nice. This is all triggering. You can put external triggering. So if we say frequency sine, then here you can change the first, the second, and the last digit. And this is the range. That is this one, or this one, or this one, depending on your setting here. So now it's on 10 megahertz, but if I wanted to 20 or 25 or 25 and a bit, and the range down, puts it down. You see the dot also changing, hertz, hertz, and it even can do millihertz. That is kind of cool. Okay, and when we do duty, it probably goes here, 50% or amplitude, so many volts, and maybe we can change it now to millivolts. Yes, we can. And the offset, why is the offset not just 0? Okay, 0 millivolts or 0 volts. Okay, and here we have milliseconds. And why would that be? That is for the pulse probably. Then we have pulse width. Yes, and then we are in the seconds or the milliseconds. Why it's an error? Okay, well. And the frequency goes all the way up to 52. Cool. 52.5 is the maximum it can do. Well, very important when cleaning, especially with the IPA. It is alcohol, so it will be flammable. Well, most of the cleaning stuff is flammable. I also use gloves because in the past I didn't, but your hands get so dry, it can't be healthy, and even it can maybe go into the skin. So I don't want to think about when I didn't use it, but starting from now I will do that if I don't forget. Also, open your window. I did that here. Uh, and of course, I have a fire extinguisher. It is not a powder, it's not a foam, but it is CO2. CO2 doesn't damage your equipment. Well, if the fire didn't, but on top of that, if one machine catches fire or my desk somewhere, I immediately use the CO2. And with the powder or a foam, I would have ruined everything. Only thing is because I'm in the attic here. After I used it, I need to get out of here because my body can't breathe the CO2, and it's actually just taking out all the oxygen. So I need to go out then, but nothing will happen. As you can see, I just used was just one of the cheapest IPA. I bought it in bulk. Close by here, there was a store that sells this, so I bought it there. And also, I use a lot this one for the. It says it's a defluxer, but it is also maintenance cleaner. It's a 3-in-1, and I use it usually on the little surfaces. It's a little bit more expensive than the big bottle, and it works great on these gray areas. It really gets the shine back. So I will try to use that also on the buttons. I can now just touch it without sticky. And look at this. this really works. Even the bottom is almost back to new. And yeah, just continue. Okay, now it looks a lot better already. Now let's open it. I want to see if I maybe can remove the front completely and see if we can if we can clean better. If we do like that, it's sliding backwards. Okay. Wow. Now we'll give a better look later. Let me turn it around. Okay, look at that. It still looks very nice. There are 3 boards, and if you remember from my other video, there are hooks right here. Let me zoom in here. There are hooks right here, and the circuit board just hooks in there. So if you untie this one, you untie this one, you can put the board in. And that is for adjusting, that you still can connect everything. And the board you just put straight. That's why the cables are so long, that it can still be connected. Well, you need to adjust it. It looks still quite nice, but I also see that I think the battery has been replaced. Well, that is not a bad thing. Yeah, it has been replaced. See some fresh soldering. Also, if you look at the bottom, yeah, seems it is like resoldered or replaced. Here, and here, and here, and here. Oh, you can't see it there, but also here. So there have been little modifications. Well, this seems to be the main board of memory. This goes to the display, it seems. There is a little crystal here, so it's a clock. I think this goes to the HPIB. So this is all communication. Well, there seems to be some memory there. Now let's see what's on the other board. Okay, now it's completely open. And as you can see, you can stick the boards into the side. Yeah, if I'm going to adjust that, I'm not going to do that today, but there are so many pots. You really need to have the service manual. You can do your adjustments here, but also if you look inside, and let me have a better look. So now we have a look from the top, and now we're looking on the actually main board, and maybe I can even zoom in a bit. Yes. Look at this. Pots here, pots there, pots here, here, everywhere. And I saw a video that if you were going to adjust, if you adjust one of the pots, it also affects one of the others. So you're really turning a little bit here, and then again the whole strip here, again here, and then here. So this will take you hours and hours. And well, I don't feel like that today. Well, there is something else I can test now. A few videos back, I had this tiny Wi-Fi microphone, microscope, and I put it now on the light. And people ask if the distance that I use, if the distance could be good. Let me switch it on. Get an iPad, and I found out that if you adjust it without any modifications, you can just use it in a long distance. Let me see, connect to the. Yes, connect, 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 connect. Yes, here it is. And you see now it's a big distance. Let me get one of the. I see here. Oh. As you can see on the screen, this is a huge distance. Let me put it here. And look, you can even increase more and more and more. And we can easily read this. This is really, well, it's a good distance. And I think you can even increase it a little bit more because almost 40 centimeters. But I think if I increase a bit more, you can still focus. Look at this. So that is actually very convenient. So I'm just going to run some tests now. It does look a lot better already. The lights even are a lot brighter. And I need to see why the pulses are not working. But maybe I will find out. But first I probably need to change a lot of caps because also, let me show you, the sine wave is more or less good. Let me have a look at the oscilloscope. Zoom in a bit. But that is good. And if I go to 20, 30, 40, it still looks very nice. No problems there. But go back to 10. If I go to the triangles, you can see there is a very little bump here and a very little bump here. So that maybe needs adjusting. But then I need to take the boards out. But I think first it would be useful to change all the caps. So that's not going to happen today. So if I go to 20 or even 30, you can see it starts to increase. It starts to look less good. So that is just adjusting. If I go to 40, it almost becomes a sine. Yeah, that could also be my oscilloscope, but it should go to 200 megahertz, and I'm now on 40. But yeah, maybe it's also adjusting. So if I go back to 10, and I go to the square. The square is really needs some adjusting. Again, a little bump here, same bump is here. So that could just be a little overshoot, and then after that it is just compensated. But this is also adjusting. But you saw there were like 40 pots, so I really need to read that. And of course, first maybe the caps. And if I go to 40, 20, 30, it starts. Oh, okay, by accident I hit it, and then the oscillator just stopped. I also need to look at that. So if I wait, I go. If I hit it, gone. It's out. Well, after a restart, it will run again. Maybe it's that crystal, but it definitely needs some investigation because after that it should just restart again. So this is 30 megahertz. If we go to 40, yeah, it starts already to be also more and more like a sine. So there is a lot more to do than just cleaning, but I will leave that to another day. But I like to show you already the result. Look at that. All shiny. I like that the lights really just pop out now. Freeform works so smooth. So that was very quick. Mostly it was just cleaning. I just wanted to have you a look inside so you do know what it looks like. But yeah, go opening it and looking at all the pots. I really need to get some courage to go a lot further. But I do like to improve it because, as you could see, that the triangles and the square are far from perfect, but they also show a lot of toned capacitors, and probably the other capacitors could also have some replacement. So, but that really, yeah, I need courage because it's gonna take a few hours or maybe a few days. And well, it is more or less working, and at least it's not sticky anymore. So that is a huge improvement. So I hope you enjoyed anyway. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.